Hello, rocket artists. We are going to take a few minutes and talk about how to use watercolors. Now, they're a lot of fun. They're a great medium. There's a lot you can do with them, but they can be frustrating if you're not sure what you're doing or if you're really trying to get something to look quote unquote perfect. They're not always good for that. And keep in mind, our goal with all of these is to learn how to use watercolor or each medium with good technique. We want to be able to create form. We want to be able to create a lot of different values. Very, very light values, very, very strong values, and just make a nice work of art. So our goal is not to duplicate the image perfectly. So please don't get stressed out on that. That's not our focus. Now we're using tubes of watercolors, which I like because you can mix them. You can really control both the color and how much paint you have on the brush. So you just need a very, very small amount of paint. Just that little dot will do a lot for you. It'll go a long ways. And we're going to start out with a wash technique. And that means using a little bit of paint and a lot of water. You'll see I'm constantly dipping my brush, diluting the paint, and getting a lot of water on there. That'll allow us to build up our values, to build up our colors. And it also gives us that really nice watercolor look. I encourage you to let watercolor be watercolor. You're not always going to get crisp, perfect edges, but that's what makes watercolor special. So just kind of go with that. So I'm going to start out using washes of my lightest colors. I can always layer on top here to make them darker. And we have a limited color selection, so you're not going to get the exact same color in your picture all the time. But you can get a value that's very, very close, and you can get a color that is going to be pretty close as well. Okay. So get that first layer on, and then you want to start using some darker colors, some darker values. And the nice thing is, instead of if this red isn't quite right, I can make that a little lighter and move it towards orange by adding a little yellow in there. And again, a lot of water, especially that first layer. As you add layers and you're more confident in the color, the shapes, you want some darker colors, you can use more paint. Start out with a wash. You can see you can get some pretty fine lines with watercolor as well. So keep these small brushes nice. We don't have a ton of them, and they do come in really handy. Watercolor is all about controlling the amount of water on the brush. If I had tons of water on this brush, the watercolor would flow everywhere, and I definitely would not get the line I want. At the same time, you can see it's not a perfectly smooth line, which is fine. Like I said, let watercolor be watercolor. A good habit is to you can dip your brush in your paint, and then if you want to, dab it on a piece of scrap paper or test paper nearby to kind of control the water levels when you're first getting used to them. So I'm getting this first layer of yellows and reds on there. And now, to make it darker, I'm using some of the pure red to add another value there. Move it up. And now we'll bring some blue. And there aren't any blue areas in my painting. But what I'm going to do to get those very, very dark areas, the shadows, is layer colors. So even though that blue is really light to start, when I put some red on top of it, it'll really deepen. So here you'll see some of the effects of layering the red and blue. Right now I've got a nice strong dark value, and it contrasts really nice with the yellow that I've washed on there. It's going to start bringing my drawing to life. Let's skip ahead here. And there you go. I had originally had that light blue. I've gone over that, I think, with a little red, just to darken it up. Right. So layering these colors, you have to remember your color theory, adding some darker colors to lighter ones, lighter to darker. We're going to give you some interesting values. So like most of our media, you're layering, you're building, you're not trying to do everything in one sitting, one layer. So really take your time. Again, let watercolor be watercolor. The lines won't be perfect, you know, but that's what makes it look cool. That's what makes it special. So take your time with this. Really try to enjoy it. Make sure you have a fine brush for some of those details. And if you have any questions, just come talk to me. Good luck.